as you can see at home, the Dinnie Stones have already started taking place as part of the Rogue Record Breakers out there in Vendor Village. We'll be joined by Dr. Bill Crawford here in a second to walk you through the competition, and we will cover that live for you. Now, on event number 4 specifically, who just impressed you on the female side of the house?
Man, Haley Adams was so impressive about her. Like, she didn't even have that same push as the second heat. And what I feel like is so impressive is she knew her capabilities, her drive, her push, and she was able to, you know, push without having people, you know, be able to like drive her to go any faster. So the fact that she was able to do that solo was just super impressive to me.
The young up-and-coming stars of the future of the sport, and her name is in that conversation all the time. So incredibly impressive. Now, Tia Toomey, going into that event, was in 3rd place. But she's dangerous no matter where she is. You know, okay, well, she wasn't winning overall, whoop-de-doo. All of a sudden, you know, she rockets herself back into a fantastic position. You know, as a former champion yourself, when you watch Tia compete, what are you seeing?
First of all, I can't really, you can't put us together in the same category. But no, I really love her mental game. I love that, you know, she takes every event as it is. She's going to push and do what she needs so that she can move herself along. She doesn't let the one rattle her. I mean, she held back just her composure, knowing that the first event today didn't go, you know, she didn't win it. So what did she have to do? She had to come back. She stayed just behind. She stayed there, just knew where they were, knew the speed, and then attack, and just lit it up at the end. Like, unbelievable. Like, that composure, being able to do that mentally, that's we know she's strong. That's so impressive.
She is in an absolute class by herself. And welcome back to the desk there, Dr. Bill. How are you? Good to see you again.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much.
On screen, we've got your world happening right now.
Yes, the Dinnie Stones.
You know, I do some working out in my garage, but the weights don't look like that. What are we looking at here?
So this is the famous, these are replicas of the famous Dinnie Stones. They were made in Scotland and shipped here. The Dinnie Stones are in a place called Presided, Scotland.
Do you say they were literally made in Scotland?
They were made in Scotland and sent here as replicas, exact weight.
Wow.
And they weigh, the larger stone weighs 414.4 pounds, the smaller weighs 318.6, 733 pounds in total weight. These are stones that are placed, that have rings placed on top. The athlete just picks them up and holds them as long as they can, that's all.
Did you say 733
733 pounds total, and those rings are not barbells, so they cut into your hands.
That's what I was going to say. I can't imagine deadlifting that much weight in a perfectly knurled 28mm barbell, but to actually have to lift it with odd rings sounds
Yes, and
horrific.
one weighs smaller than, one is less weight than the other one is, and the rings cut into your hands. The record is 31.4 seconds by Mark Felix in 2017 at Record Breakers. And this is the idea. If you hold it longer than 31.4 seconds, you get the $5,000 prize. That's the record breaker.
Does the time start when he breaks him free of the ground or when he's locked out?
When they break the ground. He's really holding on. There's different techniques. You can just hold it without a hook grip, or you can actually take your thumb and wrap it under your fingers, so that the ring is supported by the thumb and the fingers in a locked position, like a hook grip on a barbell.
I was going to say, it's going to be one heck of a painful hook grip, though.
Yeah, you got to train that. That's pretty painful. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is impressive.
So we've seen some athletes that were more deadlift specific. We've seen, you said, some specific grip training.
7 hands and massive arms. Definitely put to the test.
See what the official time is.
Lawrence Shirley, by the way, is no longer doing this competition.
Okay.
He's calling the events for us.
So that was not a record-breaking attempt. And you think, like, wow, you got to have big arms, or I know some really great 26.6 on that last lift. So not a record.
Our next athlete out of Houston, Texas, make some noise for Josh Thigpen.
Josh Thigpen. This is a former world-class strongman.
And Bill, just refresh us one more time about what the current record is.
It's 31.4 seconds on the hold by Mark Felix. And anybody that knows Mark Felix knows that he has a fantastic grip. Really, really super strong guy.
Now, some of these events that I've seen, I could kind of have a sense as to how one might train for it, you know, replicate the gear. But this, are you just deadlifting and then on the side working your grip? I mean, how are you training for this?
You get some rings and you get loading pins, and you can actually buy them online and just load the plates and work your way up. But I can tell you that if you can lift 733 pounds on the rings, that the stones actually feel a little bit lighter because there's a wider weight distribution.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is, you know, you're a CrossFit
You hear that,
guy.
Tanya? They feel light.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
lighter. But still, just, you know, you're a CrossFitter. You understand pain. This is painful. It's painful. You have to just
Understood.
suck it up and keep going with
Here
it.
we go, Josh, chalking it up.
Does the grip fail before anything else? Is the midline? Is it the legs?
It's almost always the grip.
Here we go. Let's make some noise, Austin.
And notice how he's straddling. So you put the big stone in the front in your dominant hand, and then you take the smaller stone. The Scots actually, in Scotland, they actually will take that smaller one and then rock back on it. So you've got that leverage, sort of like a ballast move.
Is Scotland where this originated?
Yes, it's in Petark, Scotland, for the great Donald Denny. So Josh Thigpen, he's rolling his hand over so he can get it's going to turn his hand into the weight.
And here we go. Dinnie Stone Hold is underway.
Good lift.
Josh holding on strong. The crowd cheering him on.
He's holding it. Keep going, Josh. Keep holding it.
Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cheer on Josh.
Things start getting a little dark, a little lightheaded. Your grip starts to go.
It's an impressive lift.
Holding on.
Oh, come on, Josh. Hang on. Oh.
Very
Wow.
impressive, Josh Thigpen. Let's cheer him on.
Wow.
We'll get that official time here in just a moment.
That was a really good hold. That was a really good time.
Now, is it one of those things where when you start out, you know if you have a good grip, or is it one of those things where it's more of the endurance part that you know later into it?
It's all grip. You really feel it. Yeah, you have to really train this. What's the time? 31. What did he get?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a
New record. 31.77.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Unbelievable. So close. That was really great. That's
Extremely
awesome.
impressive.
Yes. Well, so the Dinnie Stone Hold. There's actually our own Lawrence Chalet replicated the mythic carry of the Dinnie Stones just this past year, and carried them for 18 feet. The actual Dinnie Stones.
Oh, really?
So this is a hold. This is something that Terry came up with, and as you heard, that's my son, Billy Crawford. He's 19 years old, and
This is your
he's
son
going
right here?
This is my son.
Oh, this is
Billy Crawford.
awesome.
He's 19 years old. I think you might be a little surprised what he does with these.
I was going to say, well, he's got an unfair advantage having you as his father.
No, we've
Stones over 700 pounds. One weighs around 400. The other a little over 3.
okay. Wow.
19
This is
years old. Your son's going to
19.
lift over 700 pounds off the ground. It's,
Yes, he's done this before.
you would have been disappointed with me at 19 years old.
I was not doing this when I was 19. He's stronger than me.
Billy Crawford, proud papa, watching on.
Your son's also lifted another famous stone, correct?
Yes, he's the youngest to have lifted the Husafell stone in Iceland this past summer at 18 years old.
What's the Husafell stone?
It's in Iceland, and it weighs 418 pounds. Big
Holy
slick slab.
Here, let's cheer him on.
What are you looking at from this young man?
He's going to take the back stone. He's going to pull on it, and he's going to get the front. He's going to get the front one up on a ballast. He got it. It's up.
Yeah, it is.
Keep holding it. Hold it. Breathe. Keep going. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah. Look at that. Keep going.
Fantastic.
Look at that. 19 years old. Wow. Keep going. Don't put it down.
Oh,
Hold
man.
it. Hold it. Yeah.
Woo! That was fantastic.
Awesome.
You look at that.
Wow.
So good.
That was amazing.
19 years old.
Wow.
laying the smackdown
He did you
on
proud.
the Dinnie Stones.
Great job.
Waiting for that official time.
What do you think of yourself at 19? Could you have done that?
No.
18-14, ladies.
18-14
Wow.
would honestly have beaten most of the competitors the last couple of years.
Really?
Yes, definitely. No question. That's a very, very solid time. Super respectable.
Did he have a goal going in?
He's been working on the crew all day, so, you know, he's out there hauling weights. No, he hasn't been training specifically for this. And
So he's been out in the sun working all day long, then he just walked over there and held it 18 seconds.
they told him he could get into it, so he did it. He hasn't been training for this.
That is extremely impressive.
Yep, I'm super proud of that. So this is a replica that was made by Gordon Denny. Gordon was a good friend of David Webster, who resurrected these stones out of the River Dee. And Donald Denny, if you don't know, is the first great international sporting superstar. He'd been a Highland Games athlete, became a wrestler, a strongman. He was in the time frame of Louis Cyr and also Eugene Sandow. So these stones are known around the world. This is very well known.
700 pounds in the air, ladies and
733.
Let's see how long Trey Mitchell can hold
Trey Mitchell.
these stones.
Just won the Shaw Classic. He's our tester here. Great strongman.
As he holds on for dear life, the Dinnie Stone Hold
Whoa.
is up and down. We will find out at an official time here in just a moment.
Your son seems noticeably not as large as these other individuals. He is obviously incredibly strong. I would again think this is a bigger, heavier athlete kind of a lift.
Well, actually not. Jack Shanks, the first man who lifted the Dinnie Stones, they thought it was a myth until Jack Shanks. 1971 for Trey.
Big round of applause.
So Billy did himself proud on that
Oh
one.
yeah, for
But
sure.
Jack Shanks weighed about 185 pounds. He was a Belfast police officer in 1973 and went and lifted them to show that it wasn't a myth, that it could actually be lifted. There was a famous lifter of these stones with straps, and others are straps. That's a different lift than barehanded because, you know, you lift the weight but you don't use your hands. It was David Prowse, Darth Vader from Star Wars, who was a Scottish Games athlete.
This is the Rogue Record Breakers event. The Replica Dinnie Stone Hold. Already a record smashed by Josh Thigpen with a time of 31.77. And here comes Justin Clifford, wasting no time. Justin adjusting. And here we go, Stones off the ground.
Picking up
Holding on
733 pounds for 1 second,
Right.
is tremendous.
So the first few seconds, you feel the pressure, and then you feel your hands, and then you start, you know, getting that focused vision where you're all that pressure in your head.
Added motivation.
Wow.
A
Good lift.
tremendous time.
Wait for his time. Speaking of Jack Shanks' son, actually weighs about 155. In the first year we had this event, competed in it. He weighs about 155 pounds and lifted the stones and held them for several seconds.
Are you kidding me? At 155?
Yeah.
I gotta train harder.
It's kind of addicting. You get to where you just your hands get really thick and you get really strong.
1845.
1845.
Justin Clifford.
Justin Clifford.
And last but certainly not least, our final competitor. Put your hands together for Scott Davids.
So another thing about training for these, you can actually work your way up if you use the plates and then you convert over the stones. Another thing that the plates don't do is actually kind of move around. You see these stones kind of, they start clacking and moving, and they're not quite as stable.
I was going to say it's tough to replicate, but it's probably darn near impossible to replicate.
Yes, you want to squat down on the stone, get your torso erect, clinch down, and hold it. That's a really good position. That's a very good position.
Now his seemed to be swinging a little bit more than your son's were. Is that a problem?
It can be. He needs to control that swing a little bit, but he's really stable right now. I think he's got a really good hold on it. I think we got a run on this. We're going to oh, shocking. He looked good. You're right though. That swing hurt him. Starts to move a little bit. Great effort though. Fantastic.
So you can tell right away, you see him break free of the ground if someone's in a good position.
I love seeing this. Is a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of people watching this.
63 for Scott.
23:63. Great time.
And that is all she wrote for our Rogue record.
New Rogue record. Josh Thigpen, 31:77.
Wow.
Wow.
Record-breaking 31:77.
I think if Billy would have gone a little later, these guys, they were all just going like, I can't get beaten by the teenager.
Yeah, it's fantastic, though, get to see a new record fall. New record set, absolutely fantastic. We will be right back with more of the Rogue Iron Game. Don't go anywhere.
Check out Rosie Jones, check out Rogue